Hello everybody. Have you ever imagined a universe where everything is possible, where there is no up, no down, where there are no limits, no borders, where your dreams come true, where your thoughts, your feelings, your emotions can affect in your daily routines? Okay, now you can imagine it because you are in it. This is the world of the probabilities. That is what quantum physics or quantum mechanics or quantum theory explains. According to the theory, we are in the second revolution, since the first one was in 1883 with the discoveries of Michael Faraday, who gave the first theories about quantum physics, right? Now there have been many scientists who have apported something to this theory, right? And one of the most important of them was Albert Einstein, and another one was Stephen Hawking. I am going to talk about them a little bit later, right? Now I am going to explain you what is the meaning of quantum physics. Quantum physics is the body of the physics, since it is related to the subatomic and atomic world. It represents that it goes beyond the physics that everybody knows. I'm going to explain you the first phenomenon that was proposed by Michael Faraday in 1883. It says it is the observer interference, right? He did 3 experiments. I'm going to talk about right now about the first one. It is simple matter. Imagine that these are 2 guns, and here there is a wall. In the wall there are 2 little holes, and here there is a final wall where the impact of the matter will be represented. So in this hypothetical case doesn't happen anything. It is nothing. Why? Because this is not part of the atomic world, so it is not possible to interpret it, to analyze it in a subatomic or atomic world. But if we move to the light or sound, in the same case, let's suppose that this is a candle and it emits waves. Here there is a wall with 1 hole. Now we have the same wall with 2 holes, but what happens? At the beginning there was 1 wave, just 1, right? And there was 1 hole. Nothing happens, as you can see here. But in the second wall happened something really interesting for quantum physics and for life. What it is? It is that at the beginning there was 1 wave, but now we have 2 waves that interact to each other. So the final wall, where we will notice represented, it will be represented the impact of the waves of light or sound. There must be not just 1 wave, more than 1, multiple ones. You know why? Because take a look at this. So at the beginning we had 1 wave, but now we have 3 impacts. So there is a huge difference between these 2 experiments. Now we can move to the other one. It was more amazing, since it was related with the subatomic world that I was talking about, right? And it is electrons. The same experiment with electrons. Let's suppose that this is a gun and it is sending electrons. Here there is a wall, but this wall is divided into 2, right? There are 2 holes on it. And here we have the final wall, well, we will notice the impacts of the electrons. Once you can see, the difference lies on the electrons that come over here act by themselves. For example, they wanted to go over this hole, or they wanted to go over this other one, because they behave, they act, they can do it, because this is the subatomic world, and this is what I was talking about related to quantum physics. This is the world of the probabilities, right? And electrons can do everything. Now I'm going to move to Dr. Masaru Emoto, who discovered that when water gets materialized, it changes its structure. You know why? Because depending on your thoughts, your feelings, your wishes, you express it, it changes. If you want some more information about it, you can look for the information about Masaru Emoto, who is a Japanese doctor. Now I'm going to talk about Albert Einstein, who is recognized as one of the most intelligent and thinkers of the 20th century. He was mathematician, and he was also cosmologist. His biggest discovery was the formula of the relativity, right? Which is represented with E, that is equal to matter by speed squared, where E is energy, M is matter, and C, that is a word which comes from Latin, that is celeritas in Spanish, velocidad, and in English, speed, what is elevated square, right? This is the formula that Einstein gave to the world. It was his huge discovery, his most amazing discovery. Now, Stephen Hawking says, Stephen Hawking is one of the most important characters, scientists, mathematicians, and thinkers of the moment. He says that Albert Einstein discovered the beginning of everything, that there are two exceptions for life. Those are energy, which is related to matter, and matter is related to energy, right? So there is just one, matter, and space. Stephen Hawking is also famous for the discoveries of black holes. He says that there is no time in black holes, and the gravitational fields are amounts unknown still for the world, because nobody has been there, so gravity is different there. Stephen Hawking says that if the beginning of everything was matter and space, there was no need to have a God. So there was no God who created the universe. It created itself. He says also that we humans have always been taught that we don't get something from nothing. But this thought is breakable, since the universe gave us everything. And he also says that if Albert Einstein hadn't discovered this formula, the quantum physics wouldn't have been working right now, because these are the basis and the principles for everything in quantum physics. He also says about the two ingredients that we need for creating a universe. He says matter is equal to energy, so there is just one, and space. Those are the ingredients that we need to create a universe. And since energy contains matter, and matter contains energy, He also said that everything in life has its positive and negative sides. So that is the case we were saying here, that everything can get materialized in one or more fields. As a conclusion, he said, Stephen Hawking said, there is nothing after life. But doing an analysis of this, a reasoning of this, for example, if I say, I have 3 bills and 2 coins in my wallet, and one of my friends says, I have nothing. So nothing for me represents something. What it is? Nothing. So nothing is something. Conclusion. If there is nothing after life, there is something.